Hello and welcome to Ocean Dev Stories. Now this first episode is going to be about the ZX Spectrum loading screen for Robocop. Now this is a bit of a short topic, so I thought I'd go into some of the stuff that happened in the first few weeks of me joining Ocean Software. Now, on my very first day, I had a meeting with Gary Bracey in his office, which he informed me that the first game I was going to be working on would be, as he named it, Daley Thompson's 88. Now, I had played Daley Thompson's Decathlon and Daley Thompson's Super Test so many times on the Spectrum, and at that point in my work on the Spectrum, I had not even done any animation before. So the reality of the job suddenly hit me, and the responsibility of having to create these graphics. I seem to remember that Gary told me that the programmer I'd be working with didn't start for another week. So basically I had to just spend a week going around meeting some of the guys and getting myself familiar with the office and the people that worked there. People that I'd only read about in magazines. I needn't have worried, of course, because everyone who worked there was really nice and welcoming, and I had good chats with everyone who was there. So while I was waiting for my programmer to arrive, Gary asked me if I would create a loading screen for a game that had just been finished and was due for release soon. And that game, of course, was called Robocop. So I'd obviously heard of the movie, and I probably read in a magazine that Ocean were developing a game based on this movie. So the chance to actually create the loading screen for it was a real treat for me. Now, I was given an initial scan of the Robocop movie poster, and how that was created was by having the movie poster at one end of the room, which was being filmed by an old VHS video camera, plugged into a video capture device that was plugged into an Atari ST. The initial screen was simply black and white and probably looked a bit like this. So there was a lot of cleanup needed, and I had to add colour to it as well. I was also given by Gary a couple of lines of text that had to go into the loading screen, and they had to be written verbatim with no spelling mistakes. And that was the trademark and copyright and the rights reserved at the top, and also the message saying, "See the blockbuster movie on video available 11th of November from Virgin Vision." Another thing I didn't realise was each artist that worked at Ocean had done their own version of the Ocean logo, and I had now to create my own. But what I didn't realise was that I was going to be judged on the quality of my Ocean logo. Now, I seem to remember that I had about a week to create this screen, and I had to shift Robocop as far to the left of the screen as I could so that I could fit in the logo and the legal text along with the Ocean logo. And sadly, I don't think I put as much time into the Ocean logo as I should have. But the screen turned out well enough, and the other artists were complimentary about it. I don't think they mentioned the logo because it wasn't great, but you can't have everything in a week. Now, one of the main criticisms I get for this loading screen is people saying, "What is that red on his face?" or "Why has he got blood on his face?" And I have to explain that that's the reflection of the light on the police car reflecting off his shiny helmet. So because I'd had this so many times, I decided to redress the balance a little bit and create, for the 30th anniversary, a whole new loading screen for the game. And this was great for me because I could decide on the size of Robocop on the screen. I could make the logo as big as I wanted. I could redo my crappy Ocean logo, and also I didn't have to put all the other legal text in there as well, so I had more room to play with. And the best part was I could take as long as I wanted. Now, one thing I hadn't realised until the last few years was the amount of time that people would be sat in front of their screen looking at this image. If ever I go on social media and post this loading screen or anything about Robocop, I can almost guarantee that I'll get a message from someone saying that they loved the Robocop loading screen and it is burnt into their memory because they have looked at it so much. This is something that I only realised recently. The Robocop loading screen must be on screen for about 10 minutes while you wait for the game to load. So if you played this game every day for a couple of months, this screen is definitely going to be burnt into your memory, and that is something that I had never thought about before. So I finished the loading screen, it went out in the game, it was very successful, and then I went on to my next project, which was Daley Thompson's Olympic Challenge, and that is going to be the subject of the next video. So I hope you can join me for that. Bye!